My name is Fizeo Aok. I live in Lagos, Nigeria, in a tall, shiny apartment building in Lekki Phase 1. I'm 27 years old, beautiful, bold, and bright-skinned. People say I look like a queen. And maybe they're right. Online I am famous. On Instagram I am the CEO of a Joker couture empire. My page is full of beautiful photos. Me in designer gowns, me beside luxury cars, me drinking champagne on boats, and me smiling under palm trees in foreign countries. I talk about living the soft life. I tell my followers that a woman must never suffer. I say things like, if it's not luxury, don't invite me. And I only hustle in style. Thousands of girls repost my quotes. They copy my style. They call me Big Fifi. But the truth is buried behind every photo I post. The truth wears no filter. The truth is that I am a scammer. And everything I show is borrowed, stolen, or faked. But I didn't start that way. Came from nothing. I grew up in a small flat in Ajigunle with my mother, a tailor who worked day and night just to feed us. I remember sitting by her sewing machine, watching her fingers move fast, stitching clothes for people who never paid on time. She always said, Fizeo, don't suffer like me. And I promised I wouldn't. Maybe that's why I started lying. Maybe that's why I started stealing. 'Cause I was tired of being broke. I wanted more. I wanted everything. My first scam happened by mistake. It was 3 years ago. A rich man at a party asked me what I did for a living. I was dressed in a gown I borrowed from a friend, with makeup done at a cheap salon. But I smiled and said, I own a fashion brand. He looked impressed. He asked for my card. I didn't have one, but I said I forgot it in the car. Later he sent me money, 200,000 naira, to support my business. That night I bought new hair and took better pictures. It became a habit. Now I work with Jasper, my partner in crime. Jasper is a genius with computers. He creates fake websites, fake bank statements, and even fake videos showing fake clothes in fake factories. He edits my voice into phone calls. Together we scam wealthy men who think they are too smart to be fooled. We find them online, at lounges, or through contacts. Then we charm them, promise them high returns on fake investments, and make them believe in dreams that don't exist. Men like Chief Balagan. He is in his late 50s, dark-skinned, with a big belly and a small heart. He wears agbadas and gold chains and calls every young woman baby. I met him at a hotel bar. He liked my laugh. I pretended to be shy. Within a week, he transferred 5 million naira to me for a luxury fabric import. That never happened. Jasper sent him fake customs documents. The chief believed it. I laughed all the way to the bank. Then came Mr. Adeo. He was younger, smarter, and more careful. But not careful enough. Jasper and I studied him for 2 months before we moved. I sent voice notes about how I wanted to expand a Joker couture to London. He liked the sound of it. He sent 8 million. Then he started asking too many questions. That's when I knew trouble was coming. But I still walked like a queen. Every morning I wore silk robes and sat on my balcony, drinking juice with cucumber slices. I greeted neighbors with a fake smile. I never said much to them. I didn't have to. I was the girl with the Range Rover, the latest iPhone, and the loud heels. But Mamai, the woman who sold food at the gate, always watched me too closely. She called me fine girl with secrets. Hated that name. One afternoon as I posed beside a rented G-Wagon, she shouted, "One day, Instagram will forget you, but real life won't." I smiled and waved, but my heart shook a little. Still, the money was sweet. Every week new shoes. Every 2 weeks new wigs. My house smelled of foreign perfumes. My fridge was full of wine. My bed had soft white sheets, and my floor was always cold and clean. But I could not sleep. Most nights I lay in the dark, wondering what would happen if I got caught. What would happen if someone broke the mirror I had built around myself? But I was addicted. Addicted to the attention, DMs, praise, the envy, the lies. Then one day I met someone different. His name was Kunal. He was not rich. He was not loud. He didn't ask about my clothes or my perfume. We met at a bookshop. I was pretending to buy something intellectual for content. He asked me, "Do you really read these or just post with them?" I laughed, but something in me broke a little. We sat and talked. And I didn't lie. Not that day. I told him I liked fashion. I told him I grew up in Ajagunal. He smiled and said, "That's more real than most people I meet here." I started to feel something I had not felt in a long time. Honesty. But I had to protect my brand. So I never told him about Jasper. I never told him about Chief Balagan or Mr. Adeo. I told him I was working on a new clothing line, something very personal. He believed me. He believed the filters. But he also loved the real parts of me. The way I laughed when I forgot to pose, the way I frowned when I was tired of pretending. I was living two lives now. One with Kunal, simple and warm. The other, full of glitter and danger. I knew it couldn't last. I knew I had to choose. But I was afraid. Afraid of losing the fame, the likes, the soft life. Afraid of losing him too. And that's when it all began to fall apart. Everything began to crack on a rainy Thursday morning. My phone buzzed nonstop. At first I thought it was just my followers liking a new photo. But when I opened my messages, my heart froze. It was Mr. Adeo. He had sent over 12 voice notes. The first one said, "Fizeo, where are my goods? You said they would arrive last week." The last one said, "If I don't see something by tomorrow, I'm reporting you to the EFCC. FCC. The word felt like a bullet. I ran to Jasper's apartment, shaking. He was eating suya and watching football. "Calm down," he said with a lazy smile. "I'll fix it." "How?" I asked, panicking. "He's not like the others. He's already asking questions." Jasper wiped his mouth. "We'll make a video. Fake a warehouse. I know some boys in Ikorodu with one. We'll dress them up like workers, arrange some fabric, and send the clip. Trust me." I wanted to trust him. But deep inside something had changed. I was tired. Tired of the games. Tired of the fear. Tired of pretending. That night I called Kunal. His voice calmed me. He asked if I was okay. I said yes, even though I wasn't. He told me he missed me. I closed my eyes and said I missed him too. Then he said something strange. He said, "Fizeo, you're always shining, but sometimes I feel like you're hiding. I hope one day you'll let me see all of you." I almost cried. The next day, Jasper sent the fake video to Mr. Adeo. It showed young men packing fabrics into a van. I was in the video too, wearing a hairnet and pretending to shout at someone. It was fake, but it looked real. Mr. Adeo watched it and replied, "You have one more week. If I don't see delivery, it's over." Time was running out. At the same time, Kunal invited me to his family's house. He wanted me to meet his mother. I was scared. I had never met anyone's mother as myself. I was always Big Fifi, the fashion queen. But Kunal's world was simple. His mother lived in Surulere in a flat with peeling paint and warm air. The moment I stepped inside, I felt small. But she was kind. She served rice and stew with chicken. She asked me where I was from. I told the truth. I said Ajagunal. She smiled. "Then you understand hard work." I nodded slowly. Later, Kunal walked me to the gate. He held my hand and said, "My mom likes you. She said you have wise eyes." Smiled. My eyes were wise, yes. But also tired of looking at lies. I wanted to confess. To tell him everything. But my phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't Mr. Adeo. It was worse. A blog had posted a clip. It was grainy, shaky, but clear enough. It showed me handing a brown envelope to Chief Balagan outside a hotel. The caption read, "Leaked. Fashion CO or fashion fraud. Sources say Fizeo Aok scammed prominent chief with fake business pitch." My breath left my body. The video spread fast. Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, even Facebook. My followers dropped. The likes slowed. My inbox was full of insults. "Liar. Fraudster. Fake queen. People shared old photos of me, circling bags and dresses, saying, "This was all scam money." Jasper called, laughing, "Relax, it's just noise. They'll forget." But I knew this was different. Even Mamai, the food seller, stood taller the next morning. She said, "Rain Dawn finally beat the masquerade." Kunal saw the video too. He called me. He didn't yell. He didn't curse. He just said, "Tell me it's not true." I stayed silent. He waited. I said, "I wanted to tell you. I swear." He said, "But you didn't." And that's all I needed. And then he hung up. My legs gave way. I sat on the floor and stared at my phone, waiting for a message that never came. I had lost the one real thing in my life. Not the cars, not the followers, not the soft life. Just Kunal, the boy who saw me before the mask. I locked myself in for days. Jasper wanted to run. He said we should change our names, delete accounts, move to Ghana. I told him no. For once, I didn't want to run. I wanted to breathe. That week, the police came to my estate. They didn't arrest me, but they left a letter. Someone had opened a case against me. Jasper disappeared the next day. Like a thief in the night. He left me with fake papers, angry victims, and a trail of broken promises. And silence. Had no friends. No family to call. My mum had died 2 years ago. I had no one but the voice in my head repeating Kunal's words. "You're always shining, but you're hiding." So I did something I never thought I would. Picked up my phone. Called Kunal. He didn't pick the first time. Or the second. Or the third. But on the fourth try, he answered. His voice was cold. "I'm ready to face my mess," I said. He didn't reply. "I want to be real," I whispered. Then he said, "Then be real. But don't do it for me. Do it for yourself." And he hung up again. I sat there, my face bare, my room dark, and my hands shaking. It was time to remove the filters. One by one. I didn't know where to start. My name was already dirty. My face was now a meme. My quotes about soft life had turned into jokes on social media. People laughed, pointed, and shared my old videos with music in the background that made me look like a fool. I had once lived like a queen. Now I was a warning sign. I stayed in bed for days. I didn't eat. I didn't post. The mirror in my room looked at me like it knew my truth. My skin didn't glow anymore. My hair was rough. The wigs were still there, but they looked strange now, like masks I didn't want to wear again. My phone kept ringing. Unknown numbers. Angry messages. Chief Balagan. Mr. Adeo. Other victims. One morning I stood up, looked at my wardrobe, and started packing. I gathered the designer clothes, the fake and the real. Put the heels in boxes. The perfumes. The bags. The jewelry. All of it. Posted a story. Luxury clearance sale. Everything must go. People rushed to buy. I sold fast at crazy prices. I just wanted them gone. I wanted space. I wanted to breathe. With that money, I made a list of who I owed the most. I sent part payments, each with a message. "I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix it." Some replied with insults. Others blocked me. But I didn't stop. I also walked into a police station. I sat down and said, "My name is Fizeo Aok. I want to confess." The officer looked shocked. "You know what you're doing?" "Yes," I said. They asked questions. I answered honestly. I gave them what I had: emails, documents, bank details. They opened a case. I was not arrested. Instead, I was told to come every week for updates. They saw I was not running. That helped. Had no home now. So I moved to a small room in Yaba, close to a noisy roadside. It had a leaking ceiling and smelled of kerosene, but it was mine. It was real. It was honest. And for the first time in years, I slept without fear. I woke up and decided to start again. Not as Big Fifi. Not as the queen of soft life. Just as Fizeo, the girl from Ajagunal who wanted to live without lying. I went to Tejuosho Market. I walked through rows of thrift clothes, choosing simple pieces. I told the sellers my plan: To open a small thrift shop. Some laughed. One woman said, "From Instagram queen to second-hand seller?" Smiled. "Yes. And this time I won't lie about it. I found a tiny shop beside a hair salon. Cleaned it myself. Painted the walls light blue. I named it The Real Room. No filters. No lies. My first customer was a young girl who recognized me. "Aren't you that fashion girl on Instagram?" she asked. "I was," I replied. "Now I'm just a girl trying to start again." She bought 2 shirts. More people came. Curious at first, then loyal. They liked that I was honest. That I told the truth about the clothes. Where they came from, how I found them, and what they meant to me. I began writing small notes for each dress. Worn but strong. Faded but lovely. Torn before, stitched with care. Felt like I was writing about myself. Every day I got a little stronger. Every night I missed Cunnel. One afternoon, as I arranged clothes, a familiar scent filled the shop. I turned and there he was, standing at the door, holding a small plastic bag. He looked older, tired but kind. "Hi," he said. "Hi," I replied, my voice small. "I heard what you did," he said. "The truth. Payments. The police." I nodded, my eyes wet. "You didn't have to," he said. "But you did." I didn't know what to say. He handed me the plastic bag. Inside was a small framed quote that read, "Your story isn't over. You're just on the next page. I made this for you," he said. Broke down. Cried. He held me. We didn't talk about the past. We just stood there together in silence, like 2 people who had both been broken and still chose to stand. That night I looked at the quote again. I whispered to myself, "The next page will be real." The next page of my life began in a room no bigger than my old closet. But it was clean. It was mine. And for the first time in a long time, it didn't carry the scent of fear. Each morning I woke up, swept the shop floor, and watered the small flower pot by the window. I arranged second-hand clothes on hangers that were not golden but were strong. My hands, once used for posing beside luxury cars, now folded clothes with care. My fingers, once full of rings, were now bare, but they felt light. My customers were not millionaires. They were students, market women, quota riders, mothers buying for their daughters, people who understood struggle, people who understood grace. They called me Auntie Fizeo now. Some remembered who I used to be. Some didn't. The ones who did would whisper, "Is that not the soft life girl?" And I would nod and smile. I had nothing to hide anymore. Cunnel came often. He didn't rush back into my life like a romantic movie. He just came, quiet, present, kind. He bought shirts he didn't need. Helped me hang curtains. Carried heavy boxes. One day, he fixed the broken fan without saying a word. We would sit outside the shop and drink Zobo from plastic cups, talking about nothing and everything. "Do you miss it?" he asked once. "The money?" "Yes." "No," he said. "The lies." Pause. "Sometimes. They made life easy. But they also made it hollow. Prefer this. It's harder, but I sleep well." He nodded. I started writing again. Not captions for fake posts but short stories. Stories about truth. About mistakes. About growing. I kept them in a small notebook under the counter. One day I might share them. But for now they were just for me. The police case didn't disappear. But because I confessed early, helped them, and refunded part of the money, the judge showed mercy. I was given community service instead of prison time. I cleaned public schools. I swept streets. I gave small talks to girls in secondary schools about choices and shame and the power of starting again. One girl hugged me after a talk and whispered, "I want to be like you." I wanted to cry. "No," I told her gently. "Be better than me." That evening, Cunnel was waiting by the gate. I looked at him. He looked at me. And without speaking, I knew. He had forgiven me. "Come home," he said. We didn't move into a mansion. We moved into a 2-room apartment near the shop. We cooked together, laughed, argued about rice and stew. He let me cry when I had nightmares about the past. I helped him edit his writing drafts. He had started working on a book about healing. He told me once, "Your story is not just about fraud. It's about transformation." Smiled. Sometimes I missed the noise, the flashing lights, the attention. But then I would look at my hands, holding warm soup or folding clean clothes, and I would feel rich again. Not with money, but with peace. One afternoon, a lady with full makeup and long nails entered my shop. She asked, "Do you have any Gucci?" "No," I said, smiling. "But I have something stronger, truth." She looked confused, laughed, and walked out. But another girl came in and said, "I saw your story on YouTube. You inspired me. I want to open a thrift shop too." Helped her. I gave her free advice. I even gave her her first 5 hangers. In time I became something I never expected. A guide. Not perfect, not proud, but honest. People began inviting me to speak at events. Not big events, just community gatherings, youth clubs, church programs. My message was simple. Don't fake it. Fix it. Soft life is not about clothes. It's about peace. Your truth is more powerful than any filter. And Kunal, he stood beside me every time. Quietly proud. Always clapping. We married in a small ceremony. No designer gowns. No champagne towers. Just love. Real unfiltered love. I came too. She brought Amla and hugged me tightly. "You fell but you stood," she said. "That is strength." And that is what I carried from then on. I still run the real room. It is now bigger with 2 apprentices. We sell clothes but we also share stories. Every outfit has a note. Every note has a truth. One of my favorite notes says, "This dress has been through a lot, but it is still beautiful." If you have not subscribed to my channel, you might not hear my voice again, but if you are, then you are growing every day. Check my page for more interesting stories. Thanks for watching.